Alright, what's up guys? So for the first Twisted Tracklist project, I am taking on Chance the Rapper's debut album, The Big Day. I call this recollection, reorganization of songs, the full album interpretation, OWBUM as Chance spells it. With this project, I know a lot of people hated this project. I necessarily didn't hate it, I just felt like there was a lot of experimenting going on and he didn't properly use the tools at his disposal to make people more accepting of the project, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is I mean that the track list is all over the place. You have the first 4 songs, which the first 3 follow a bit of a theme and then they kind of go off from there. You got the 4th song, Hot Shower, which is thrown in just kind of as a banger for no reason. And then you go back to kind of the same themes that the first 3 songs had. And then you had a skit, and that's all good. But then you kind of go off into like veering into a song with his brother, which is probably my favorite song on the album. But then you go right back to the themes, and then after that, it's all these dance songs, and I feel like that's why a lot of people didn't like it. I honestly think the first half of the album is pretty solid. There's songs on there that I'm not a big fan of. I don't listen to daily or weekly, or probably haven't even honestly listened to a few of them since it came out. Like I Got You Always and Forever. That is just a trendist, absolutely a trendist. But you know, I mean, it's not like I don't see where Chance was coming from with it. And every album is expected to have bad songs, but that was just, you know, I think it's just one of the. I think this album is just one of those situations where there was just a lot that he was trying to go for, and he didn't give people enough to grasp with what he was going for. So I'm gonna pull out my phone so I have the track list next to me. Basically what I did was I took seven songs that Chance the Rapper released in between Coloring Book and The Big Day, 6 of which were released in 2018 in the months of, I want to say July and November, called July EP and November EP. I took those 6 songs, which include I Might Need Security, 65th and Ingleside, Get a Bag, no, not Get a Bag, My Own Thing, The Man Who Has Everything, shit like that. And I edited them into the album in a playlist. And then the 7th song was Groceries, by the way, which came out a few months before the album did in 2019. So basically how I have it set up is the first 4 songs remain. You got All Day Long, Do You Remember, Eternal, and Hot Shower. And by the way, I'm going to be posting a link in the descriptions of these videos so you guys can go on Spotify and see the playlist. And maybe you can follow me while I'm talking about it. I thought it was important to work in the songs 65th and Ingleside and Workout in between Hot Shower and We Go High because they kind of match that theme of Hot Shower, which, like I was saying earlier, kind of seems just so out of place because, you know, you go from 3 songs with a big theme to just a banger, and it's just kind of like a thrown out there banger, like here's Hot Shower, you know, and then we're going to go right back into the wedding theme. To me, it makes little to no sense. I don't understand why he did it. But that's why I added 65th and Ingleside and Workout after Hot Shower. By the way, I didn't really reorganize the actual tracks on the album just because I did find a way with the 7 singles to kind of make it, I think, kind of match, I think, the tone he was going for. And then I go back to the album with We Go High, I Got You Always and Forever, Photo Ops, The Skit, Rue, The Big Day, Let's Go on the Run. And then I added in The Man Who Has Everything. And my big complaint about The Man Who Has Everything, I said this when the song first came out, was that it's not a bad song, but released as a single I think was a very bad idea because there's no compassion at all when it's released as a single. But if you have it in an album, like where I have it here, I feel like there's a lot more compassion because people can listen to it and they can listen to what Chance has had the whole album to discuss, and then they can listen to what the song talks about, and then they can be like, oh, okay, I kind of see where he's coming from with that. Otherwise, it just sounds like a lot of needless complaining. After that, I go back to the album with Handsome and Big Fish, and then I worked Wall of Cam in between Big Fish and Ball and Floss. And by the way, Big Fish was probably the worst song on the album, but every track list that I do, I'm gonna do my best to not get rid of songs on the album because my ultimate goal is not to make it the good songs of the album, it's to make it the artist's whole vision, maybe just listened to differently or worked in differently, like in this case. And, you know, I didn't want to cut anything out. But if there was one song that I could cut out, it would definitely be Big Fish. I think that song was just absolute trash. Then I have Walla Cam and Ballin' Flossin'. Walla Cam is a great song. Ballin' Flossin', I'm not against. I like that song. Then when you go to the Four Quarters and the Black skit, and you go to the 5-Year Plan. 5-Year Plan is another one of those songs where it's just like, oh my god, like it is hard to sit through. And then I added in My Own Thing, which was from the November EP between 5-Year Plan and Get a Bag. I added My Own Thing because I just felt like it kind of led into Get a Bag, you know, because Get a Bag is kind of going back to Chance's youth when he was more into the whole drug dealing aspect of things. Get a Bag to me seems like a song that would have been on like 10 Day, and I really do, I honestly think that's the only reason that he threw Get a Bag in there was because he was like, I need something that fits that theme of a past project on this album so I can keep listeners around. And, you know, obviously it's harder for him to recreate Acid Rap than it is 10 Day, so I think he just went with 10 Day there. And then I kept Slide Around and Sun Come Down after Get a Bag. Slide Around, I want to say, one of the worst songs I've ever heard. I do not know why Chance felt the need to make some of these songs, but like I said, I'm not going to just cut them out of existence. I'm going to try to, myself, I try to find a way to work it in so I can still listen to it, and hopefully it's a bit more bearable, and I hope the same for you, because as I said, I know a lot of people didn't like the album. This is kind of my way of trying to be like, it's not necessarily that it's a bad album, it's just like, it's a lengthy album first off, so the themes are all over the place, but I think when you edit the singles in, I feel like it becomes a lot more bearable, so I hope you guys agree with me on that. Sun Come Down is a great song. That is one of my favorite songs on this album, probably alongside Rue with Taylor Bennett, and I personally really like Hot Shower, but I know a lot of people that don't. I added I Might Need Security after Sun Come Down because I felt like that was a great song to kind of conclude the themes that he started in Sun Come Down, because in Sun Come Down he's talking about, you know, him being engaged in his career and all that, and then in I Might Need Security he's kind of getting defensive about the same things, whereas, you know, he's laying the groundwork, I feel like, in Sun Come Down. I feel like with a lot of these singles he intended for them to be on the album, but I think maybe because of costs or because of the fact that he already released them, I feel like something or someone was kind of pulling the strings and convinced him, or he decided not to, and I don't know why, because a majority of the singles were actually really good, and I can say, like, if I were to edit the good songs from this album with the singles into like a 14-track project similar to 10 Day, Acid Rap, and Coloring Book, I feel like a lot of people would love that, and maybe that is a project that I will take on later on. I have thought about doing it before, but as I said, I'm not trying to veto any of these songs. After I Might Need Security, I added Groceries, because Groceries, it's not the greatest song, it's not the worst song, but I feel like it really veers into the last 4 songs on the album. Found a Good One, Town on the Hill, Our House, The Skit, and then Zanies and Fools. And the reason I say that is because I feel like towards the end of the album he becomes more of a dance, vibrant Chance, and once again, I don't know why he put the songs in the album in the order that he did. I feel like there was a better way to order them. But in this case, I was trying to keep his vision intact while also adding what he's put out before, so that hopefully you guys could hear it in a different limelight and then maybe kind of understand a bit different why he would discuss the things he discussed and do the things he did. All in all, I guess, this is my first episode of Twisted Tracklist, so I'm trying to figure out kind of like what I need to work on or anything. So if there's any suggestions that you guys have, you know, to slow down or whatever, just let me know. But I guess all in all, the album itself, I would give probably a 6 out of 10. The playlist itself, I think, makes the album a lot more bearable. I still have not been able to start the playlist and end the playlist. I've never been able to do that with this album or this playlist. Only once, which was when I was showing someone the album and I was like, hey, listen to my version of the album, you know, my version, I guess. Listen to the version I put together, and you know, that was the only time, but even then it was just background noise, you know, we weren't actually like committed to listening to it. But yeah, I'm not hating on Chance by any means. Obviously I'm a big Chance fan. My favorite projects of his are Acid Rap and Coloring Book. I feel like 10 Day has a lot of great songs on it, and I feel like this album was kind of a similar situation to 10 Day, where it's like there was just so much going on that he didn't really know how to work in all that was going on, but there's some good from that and there's some bad from that. And anyone that wants to immediately shit talk this album without actually giving it a listen, I suggest that you do give it a listen, because I feel like a lot of the songs can be good, and you know, a lot of people just absolutely hate on this album when it's really not as bad as people make it sound. So if you guys want to give this album a listen, especially if you haven't yet, I really do recommend it. There will be a lot of songs that you probably will skip. There will be a lot of songs that you'll probably hear and you'll like at first, but then after hearing it the second or third time you won't like. And there's a lot of songs in there at reverse order where when you hear them at first you don't like them, and then after listening to it one or two more times you start to like it. That was at least the experience and the takeaway that I had with the album. If you guys want to listen to the playlist, the link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching Twisted Tracklist, and I really hope to hear some feedback, and I hope that you guys are interested in the other projects that I have to discuss. So until the next episode, have a great day.